You are watching End Zone, sponsored by Brahms.
Welcome to another edition of the End Zone, along with Camryn Johnson. I'm Colby Daniels. Old friend of the show, Josh Callaway is back. He's back. Yeah, you weren't even gone long enough for us to miss you, but you remember how this thing works, right?
I think I got it. We can do it.
How you been? You making it through football season?
Doing well. It's crazy. We're already about to start the Thunder back up again. It's kind of nuts. Season already halfway over. We're moving. We're
just
scooting.
a few days away from the NBA season officially kicking off, and preseason is now in the rearview mirror. But it is college football season, and I just got to say, we spent the entire show last week hyping up the greatness of the Red River Rivalry, only to get an absolute dud of a football game. And you know, that's on both sides. I don't think either team necessarily walked away from that game feeling like they played the greatest game ever. Texas did less bad things than Oklahoma did, but I think you and I were standing in the end zone as the OU players were walking off the field, and it's just kind of like, you have such a great setting for this game, and then it's just like, yeah, that's what we got? What a disappointment.
I mean, 3 out of 4 years, OU doesn't score a touchdown in this game. It's ugly. It was ugly. It was an ugly second half. OU fans, I think, came in expecting to see a little more fireworks, and it didn't happen. You know, offense kind of looked like last year in a lot of ways, and it was an ugly day at the Cotton Bowl. I think a lot of OU fans went home. They drove home. Sometimes you go enjoy the fair afterward. I think everyone just kind of hit the road after that one.
They either hit the road or just started chugging the wax cup beers and trying to completely forget everything that took place inside the Cotton Bowl. As they get ready for South Carolina, I mean, this is a redemption game because last year they lost to South Carolina in about 4.2 minutes. I mean, 3 turnovers in the first 5 minutes of the game led to 21-0 start for the Gamecocks, and the game was over. I mean, I know that people stuck around and hoped that Oklahoma would climb back into it, but it was over. This has got to be a better start for Oklahoma, and clearly it's got to start with John Mateer and a big bounce back following his Red River Rivalry performance.
Yeah, this game didn't even happen last year, basically. It was open, like you said, over in less than 5 minutes a year ago. For John, I mean, this is the first time he's coming off a bad performance this season, and the first time to see how he responds. I think we're going to get a good response. You know, at this point, with what he did earlier in the year, I think giving him the benefit of the doubt of 17 days removed from surgery, didn't practice a lot last week, jumping right back into that. It's easily the biggest game he's ever played and biggest crowd, best defense he's probably ever played. You know, in hindsight, it wasn't the easiest spot to just jump back in. So you feel like full week of practice, chance to get that thumb a little more back into the swing of things, and you get a much better version of John Mateer.
Yeah, I think there was that part of him that just really wanted to play that game. I think he wanted to play, period, but with that being the Red River Rivalry, wanted to jump in. But before the season started, I think I said that this South Carolina game was one of the most important games for OU because it was going to, whatever happened in the Red River Rivalry, this was going to be an important game. If they lost, if this is kind of the testament of if they can win it, can they stay on track, get back on track? Or are they kind of like, once they get that loss, it's just kind of like, down in the dumps. So I think this is an important game for the Sooners as a whole. But, like you said, for Mateer especially, to see him fully getting that good-on-good action again, see how he responds.
And now it's gone from one of the most important games of the season to a must-win, right? I mean, I think a lot of people felt like South Carolina was a fringe top 10 type team. They're clearly not that. They are still dangerous if you don't show up, but this is now a game where Oklahoma should win, and they must win if they're still going to achieve all their goals, which weren't washed away by the Texas loss. Whether it was John Mateer or Michael Hawkins, I mean, either one of those guys is not going to have success if you don't have your supporting cast stepping up. Offensive line's got to be better, and I think ultimately the run game has to take a big step forward for the second half of the season.
No doubt. I don't know if it will. That's the scary thing. This has not been a one-season issue. This is going back a couple of years now. Oklahoma just can't run the ball, can't get any push. Doesn't matter who they're playing. Even a couple weeks ago against Kent State, like it was better, but it was not what you'd expect against one of the worst teams in FBS. And it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Torrey Blaylock, who's doing the most he can, or Xavier Robinson, Jade Knott, that's over. I think that whole storyline is gone away. So we haven't seen Taylor Tatum all year. Javante Barnes is now banged up. I don't know what the answer is. A lot of QB run game and just throw it all over the place, I guess, because at this point, I don't envision this run game improving. I don't know why it would. I mean, you hope for the best, but I don't know why it would.
You just hope the young offensive linemen are able to take steps in the right direction.
That's fair.
Oklahoma ranks 106th in the country in rushing offense. They're 118th in the country in yards per carry. So, I mean, it's obviously not been good to this point. The only good thing is their opponent this week is worse at rushing the football than Oklahoma, the only SEC team that ranks below the Sooners. So at least that Sooner defense, who got beat a few times last week, is going to have a big opportunity this week against Lenora Sellers and the dreadful, I guess you could call it, South Carolina rushing attack.
Yeah, it's weird because this matchup feels very similarly set up as just last week. You mentioned South Carolina, all the preseason hype going into the year, fringe top 15, kind of like Texas, not quite as high, but similar, having a disappointing season. And seemingly on paper, Oklahoma's defensive line, South Carolina's offensive line is a huge mismatch. But we kind of thought that last week. Yeah. And they defended the run okay, but couldn't really tackle Wisner, only got 1 sack on Arch Manning. So, even though they were getting pressure, that's more credit to Arch evading it and making plays. So we'll see what happens this weekend, but you're right. I mean, on paper, that should be a matchup that Oklahoma completely dominates because South Carolina's offensive line, one of the worst in the country, just fired their O-line coach this week.
That's right.
Yeah, they're going to have to jump on that opportunity there. But, yeah, I think, one of the defense's strong suits this year for Oklahoma has been their ability to stop the run. So just one more thing this is an absolutely winnable game, and possibly, if you do everything right, it's a dominant game. Yeah. So, we'll see.
Oklahoma defense, first in the country in total defense, second in the country scoring defense, third in the country in sacks, 133rd in the country at taking the football away.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to rank where they rank defensively and still be at that number with turnovers. Like it almost those things don't usually correlate this way.
I know, and you just think last week too, in particular. I think early in that second half, that very first drive where the Texas goes 8+ minutes. Or Mason Thomas sacks Arch Manning off the edge.
From behind.
The whole way you're seeing that play develop, you're thinking this is a strip sack. Think about how different a game it could have been if he did. So, it was fine when the offense was doing enough and they were winning. But when you have a game like Saturday where John Mateer throws 3 picks, it's like, could we get a turnover, please?
Right.
That would be very nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe just a little bit more time of possession and sustaining drives in the second half.
They ran 4 plays in the third quarter.
That's right. That's right. I think the defense just ultimately got worn down in the Cotton Bowl. And let me tell you, it was hot down there from start to finish.
It was.
All right, we've got to take a timeout. Coming up on the other side, we're going to talk OSU football and their quarterback carousel. Thunder are getting their rings next week, and we've got 10 seconds of MAC football next on the End Zone. All right, welcome back to the show. Along with Camryn Johnson, I'm Colby Daniels. Josh Callaway making his End Zone return this week as we shift gears and talk some Oklahoma State football. The Cowboys have now lost 14 straight games to FBS opponents. It's not good. They are struggling in almost every way. At least it's homecoming, right? America's largest homecoming in Stillwater this week. The crazy thing about last week, and I wasn't at the game, obviously we're covering OU Texas, but the biggest thing that's come out of Stillwater this entire football season is the viral fan videos of the shirtless guy that turns into 3 sections of fans just going absolutely bananas. Such an awesome story. Unfortunately, it's so much better than anything that's actually happening on the field at Boone Pickens Stadium.
I absolutely love this. I hadn't seen it because, like you said, we were at the Cotton Bowl, and someone showed it to me, and just the way the crowd continued to grow. I love it. I love it. Making the most of it. It's a rough season, obviously, in Stillwater, but fans are having fun still.
They're doing what they can.
Yeah. They can. Yeah. Maybe some sunburns out there.
Those are quarterbacks as far as throwing a touchdown pass this season.
How many quarterbacks have thrown a touchdown pass? I'll say 1.
Oh, a touchdown pass.
Total guess.
Oh. Yeah, 2.
2. I forgot that Haas Haney threw a touchdown pass in the opener.
He did, that's right.
Zane Flores didn't throw a touchdown pass in all the time he had. Banks Bowen did not throw a touchdown pass. And last week in cleanup time, Noah Walters threw a touchdown pass. The other 2, Sam Jackson, who's now the starting quarterback but was playing receiver, has thrown a touchdown pass. And Shamar Rigby last week threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
You look at the passing numbers and the passing game in general and what's just taken place at the OSU quarterback position when the preseason was like Zane Flores, Haas Haney. These two guys are battling it out. It's been anything but those two guys.
Right.
Essentially bringing production to the, and injury related, obviously, but
it's bad
what a
and
struggle.
sad. I'm at the OU games every Saturday, and it seems like every time I get on Twitter or whatever during the game, it's a tweet from someone who covers Oklahoma State saying a different quarterback is in the game.
That's right.
It's unbelievable, really. It's unbelievable how many QBs they've ran through in the first half of the season.
Are they going to win a game?
No, I don't see it. I kind of was perusing the schedule the other day. I mean, maybe, but
now,
I don't think so.
I keep forgetting that Haas Haney isn't technically out for the season. He will come back at some point, possibly.
Big. Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. And the thing that
if he doesn't want to maybe take a red shirt year
there is that as well.
Sort of hit the reset button. Yeah,
we can play 4 games, so you only played 1.
Fair enough.
But that's the thing that has to be frustrating for Oklahoma State fans is you look at their first half performances and they're hanging in there. It's just they're missing. It's the big plays. You give up 1 or 2 of those, and the game gets out of hand quickly. But it's like they're just right there. So there's something.
Yeah, it's been tough. We'll see what happens with homecoming. Maybe they can find something to hang their hat on going forward. But I guess you can say there's nowhere to go but up at this point. 14 straight FBS losses for the Cowboys. All right, Tuesday night, the ring ceremony, opening night for the Thunder. I mean, this thing. I think the atmosphere is going to be electric. Finally, the NBA season is kicking off, and I mean, you're playing the Rockets, and Kevin Durant is in town. But I'm excited to see the Oklahoma City fan base just experience that after, I think, just going through the celebration over the last couple months.
It's going to be incredible. It's awesome looking at the video of whenever obviously they won. I have a bag of this confetti at my house. It was incredible. And it's nuts that we're already back ready to go. I mean, it shows how tight the offseason is when you go the distance. It's going to be all, like you said, I bet it's like a playoff crowd. And Kevin Durant being back adds to it, certainly. It's going to be all, I'm excited to see what the rings look like. I'm excited to see what the banner looks like. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
It's going to be one of those, I remember being in the building and experiencing that if you're one of the people that gets to show up on Tuesday night and going to be a great atmosphere. All right, before we get to moving the chains, we got to give you 10 seconds of MAC football with Adam King.
A lot of coaches that are or a lot of teams looking for coaches. Why not check out the MAC? We got a pedigree. We got Urban Meyer, Dan Mullen, Nick Saban, Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler.
All right, that was 10 seconds of MAC football with Adam King. Josh Callaway is going to move the chains next here on the End Zone. All right, it's time for moving the chains on this edition of the End Zone. Josh, you have both been in charge of judging moving the chains, and you yourself have, in fact, moved the chains. So you're a seasoned vet at this point for this particular part of the show. All right, 1st and 10. Camryn's going to grade your answers.
Let's do it.
A lot of names have been thrown out for the Oklahoma State head coaching gig. I want you to rank these names in order of your preference. Ben Arbuckle, James Franklin, Todd Monken, and Jim Knowles.
Wow.
If you're in charge of this hire, rank those coaching hires.
This is quite a group.
Yeah.
I would go James Franklin 1 of this group.
Okay.
1 at Vanderbilt. You can win at Vanderbilt, you can win anywhere. If you win at Vanderbilt, you can win at Oklahoma State. I'll go with Jim Knowles 2. He's been there. A little older than I think he would want, maybe. Not that Jim Franklin's young, but he's not Jim Knowles' age. And I would go probably Monken 3, Arbuckle 4. Arbuckle's just not ready. He's so young. He's barely coached. I would wait. If I was Ben, I would wait a little bit for him. That'd be my order.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty solid order. I feel like, to your point, I feel like a lot of people see Ben Arbuckle and they're like, I mean, why not? That's
flashy,
perfect. And it's like, I just don't see that happening. And again, like, he's really good now, but to just directly jump up. I'll give you 3 yards on that.
Okay. That was a harsh grade, I feel like. 3. I'll take it, though. It's a solid pickup on first down. We'll take it.
I mean, only one of these guys has been a head coach at a high level in college football, and that's James Franklin. So I think after James Franklin, you probably could have gone in about any order there.
Sure, yeah.
All right, 2nd and 7. I was having a debate with some friends the other day about a coaching career or a player career. So I'm going to throw this at you. Would you rather have Nick Saban's Alabama coaching career or Kyler Murray's OU playing career? So you get to play the game, win the Heisman, but it's for 1 season, or coach at the highest level for a decade plus and win multiple national championships. what to you would be cooler to experience?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Kyler won a Heisman. That's awesome. He's got a statue outside of a place like, that's pretty cool. I don't know how you couldn't say Saban, though. Multiple championships. But we saw this matchup in the Orange Bowl. That'll be my tiebreaker. Okay. Saban got the best of Kyler that day.
So you would rather coach multiple national championships
for that
than
long, all that
play
titles,
and win a Heisman? And
If Kyler had won a Natty, it'd be really, really close. But
so if I changed it with like Cam Newton.
I would say Cam
Newton? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe the greatest single season ever, him or Burrow, or
modern
era.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah, but Saban also got a field named after him. So that's
true.
there. But yes, that's the right answer. I'm going to give you a pick up a 5 there.
All right, second and short. Or third and short. You're in really good position.
In good shape.
All right, Russell Westbrook has agreed to a deal with the Sacramento Kings. What is it, his 7th team in the last 8 NBA seasons?
Yeah,
he's been all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place. So the question is, has Russell Westbrook's journeyman era tarnished his legacy?
No, I don't know. I wouldn't say that. Tarnish is a strong word. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's cool that he's still playing. It was ridiculous that he wasn't on a team. He still can contribute, I feel like, to a team. And Sacramento, that's going to be an ugly team brand of basketball out there with they have no spacing. That's a different conversation. But
which he doesn't really help.
Impacted legacy, sure. Tarnished, no. I think in 10 years he'll still be remembered MVP, Hall of Famer, all those great.
OKC Russ.
I don't tarnished. Too strong. Too strong.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Very different vibe, too, from the whole Kevin Durant journeyman era. I feel like everyone just loves Russell Westbrook, so it's hard not, but yeah, to your point.
Everyone but NBA GMs, apparently.
Well, he's also being picked up by half the GMs in the league.
Yeah, no. I think that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Just impacted. You hate to see it go that way, but overall, no. I think I'll give you the first down there.
All right, there we go.
Okay,
Boom.
There are a portion of people that like, wait, Russell Westbrook was stayed with one team for longer than a season?
I know.
I mean, you have to be older than 8.
He's got the rainbow Shaq thing going on now.
100%.
Yeah.
But it's crazy when you look at like legends that then have like all these teams they played for late in their career, and you're like, I don't even remember this guy playing for that team.
Sure.
Emmitt Smith with the Cardinals, right?
Right.
All right. Last one before we get out of here. Predict OU's second half record. 6 games to go. They're 5-1 so far. What are they the rest of the way?
I'm gonna say they go 4-2 the rest of the way and get to 9 wins. I feel pretty good that they're gonna still win their home games. I know they got some tough home games. I like where they're at home, and I think they're gonna win this weekend. Knoxville and Tuscaloosa, tough. So I'll 4-2 the rest of the way. I think John Mateer will play a lot better than we saw in Dallas. Defense is good. 4-2.
So it's at Alabama and at Tennessee are the 2 L's.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I think most. I would add maybe one more loss in there. But yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. I think they're going to turn it around.
That probably shifts drastically if they lose to South Carolina this weekend in terms of
very much so.
This is the most gettable road game by far.
The most gettable by a mile. Yeah. All right, that is Josh Callaway joining us for Moving the Chains. We'll make game picks next here on the End Zone.
Time now for the Brahms in the Bag Pick of the Week.
All right, we've got a massive weekend of college football ahead. Big-time matchups across the country, especially in the SEC, and we've got to make game picks. We're starting with Ole Miss, Oklahoma's next opponent, at Georgia. The Bulldogs are a touchdown-plus favorite.
Yeah, I give Georgia just the home field advantage in this one. That's the only. I think Ole Miss is going to keep it really close, though. I think that Ole Miss ends up losing by a field goal in this. I think ultimately Georgia does.
I'm not in on Ole Miss. Going to Athens, I don't think they'll get totally rolled over, but I think I like Georgia by 10+ in this game.
Ole Miss really struggled at Kentucky. They've been much better at home. At Georgia, I think it's going to be a different animal.
Yeah.
Give me the Bulldogs minus the 7.5. A couple of future Oklahoma opponents this season, Tennessee at Alabama.
Yeah, I'm going Alabama in this one. I think it's hard to tell with Tennessee, too. They played Arkansas played them closely last week. It's hard to tell if that's a new Arkansas that was showing up or if it was Tennessee playing poorly. So I think all signs point in favor of Alabama.
Alabama looks good. Ty Simpson's playing really well. I like Alabama. They might be as good as anyone in the country right now, Alabama. So I like them at home to cover.
I think Arkansas plays everybody close, so that might not even be an indictment on Tennessee. But to Josh's point, Alabama since the Florida State game is much improved. Give me the Tide at home. One of the biggest rivalries in college football, USC at Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, this one I just think they've come a long way since that 0-2 start. I think they look better. USC, you can question their level of opponent, so go with.
I like Notre Dame to win, but I like USC to stay within the number there.
Notre Dame's physicality wins the game, but I'm with Josh. I think the Trojans at least keep it close. All right, 3 touchdown favorites are Cincinnati at OSU.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to think that OSU can pull off something, ride the momentum of that shirtless crowd to a homecoming win, I just don't think it's going to happen. And Cincinnati, top 25.
You lose by 30 to Houston.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's better than Houston, so I'll roll with Cincinnati to cover.
I don't know what the number would have to be for me to pick OSU,
I know,
but 21 isn't it, so give me Cincinnati as well. And Oklahoma, nearly a touchdown favorite at South Carolina.
I think it's going to be a tough test, but ultimately they find the bounce back in them. I think Oklahoma wins it by a touchdown at least.
Yeah, I got Oklahoma 20-13, kind of an Auburn-ish game. Grind it out, defense is good, that sort of win on the road.
Defense is going to be great. John Mateer, much better than last week's Sooner win on the road. All right, that is Josh Callaway joining us for Camryn Johnson. I'm Colby Daniels. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.